Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel, Dad's Princess Things. Previously, we started these tutorials with the HTML, which is the basic language to create a website. We are using W3 Schools, a website which is for web developers, which is helpful for us to learn the things which are used for web development from basic to the advanced level. So we are taking the content from this website W3 Schools, and we have completed the HTML tutorials as well, which is available in our playlist in our channel. You can go through those videos and get know what is HTML related to and how to create HTML web pages and everything. Now we are continuing our tutorials with the CSS, which is used to design or add styles to the HTML pages. Let's get started. Yeah, first now what is CSS? CSS is nothing but a cascading style sheet which is used to add features for the HTML web pages which we have created to make the HTML page look attractive with many more features to attract these clients, everything to give the better attraction to a web page. We use CSS. CSS describes how HTML elements should be displayed in our web page, or how that element should be look like the things we can manage by using the CSS. CSS is a language basically we use to style an HTML elements. We have many more HTML elements like paragraph elements and many things, headings, or how these elements can be designed. We will know in this CSS. Yes, we are going to teach you the what is meant by CSS for basic things, and slowly to the advanced. And next, how to add CSS in your web page or everything. We have making a separate video for that. How to add CSS in our HTML web pages. We have different types or methods we can say to add CSS in our web page. Go through those videos. That video is available in CSS playlist or also in HTML playlist. We are giving in the top of this video also, you can go through. Yeah, let's get started. Let's see how CSS will work and what the things are in this CSS. So this is the basic example of CSS, how CSS will look like. Here the same HTML web page which is I am using here, you can observe we have a welcome text and some text like some side headings and some paragraphs and some icons are there. Likewise, the same website, same content of HTML page, but we are using different styles. How we can use, we have a style 1, style 2, style 3, style 4. Here you can see this is the first style which we have. Welcome to my home page, where you can see how it is a combination of both green and white color. You can observe we are giving the styles. This is the first style sheet, and next we are having a second style sheet. We will go through that link, and this is the second style sheet which is the only colors of with orange and white combination. Here you can see headings we have given colors. Likewise, the content is the same one HTML page but having different styles. This is the style sheet 3 where we have a green and black color combination. We can see horizontal or vertical sections. Likewise, we can divide many more features we can add for a one HTML page to look in a different manner or to attract the client. This is the home page. You can observe with no stylings. We can see without stylings the HTML pages are looking bored. With the stylings we can make HTML pages more attractive, so that is the reason we go for CSS. So next we are going to use why CSS. we don't have any other basic things. Likewise, we can, if anyone can questions, then we can say this answer like CSS used to define style for your web pages, including designs it will give, and it gives layouts and variations in displays for different screens and screen sizes. For example, if a viewer is opening a website in a mobile space or mobile device or any laptop or desktop or anything, the displaying capacity or features may differ for different devices, like the things those things can happen by using CSS. So we can use this CSS. For example, this is a basic example you can observe. CSS is nothing but style. We can have to include that in the style tab tag. We use style tag in the header section or in the body section also. What is this HTML elements? If you go through this HTML tutorials, then you will understand what is body and header and what are the tags available in the HTML. You will get a clarity on that. We have a style tag in the header section. In that style tag, we have to include the CSS stylings, what the stylings we have to apply. Like background color, I'm giving the light blue color, and for headings, this is the my first CSS example, which is the heading which we are giving white color, and text element is. And next, why CSS means, why CSS we use in our HTML pages. Like for this type of questions, we can tell that HTML solves a big problem. Like many tags we have, like font tag, we in the HTML we have, instead of using those all the tags which are available in HTML to make attractive pages is very most difficult. So instead of having that much tags and that much difficulty in managing a website is very difficult task. To overcome all these nightmares for web developers, this world wide web consortium created this CSS, which makes their work very easy by just giving the properties and values. We are giving specifications or colors or any features we can add for a HTML web page. Instead of going for long tags and everything, we use this CSS. Uh, remove the style formatting of HTML page. By using this CSS, we can reduce the content of the tags or a web page details and everything. We can reduce the length of the code also by using the CSS. And CSS normally saves in an external file which is with a .css extension. That files we can include in our HTML page if you want. The kind of including style sheet is nothing but external style sheet. You will get to know what is external style sheet really means. So how now we will go through the CSS syntax, how to add the stylings for your web page. What is the syntax we have to follow? Just see here. A CSS rule consists of a selector and a declaration block. We have to use selector for applying any style to the CS for your HTML page. Selector is nothing but what type of element you have to select, and what type of element you are going to give the particular style. That is nothing but a selector. Selector points to the HTML elements you want to style. The declaration block, is nothing but it contains one or more declarations separated by a semicolon. We have to separate by a semicolon. For example, if you want to give a color or these properties which are given to a particular selected selector. Selector is nothing but HTML element. For the HTML element, what you are going to give, what properties you are going to add, that is included in this declaration part, where we have a color property. Here you can say color property and font size we have here. For that color property, what we are going to give, like for that color property I'm giving the value blue, and for font size property we are giving the value of 12 pixels. Like I am giving the HTML element which is having h1 HTML element h1 heading. I am giving the particular properties. So this type, for by using this syntax, we are same declaration, or we can do in a different manner also by using the curly braces, separating with the curly braces. Here is another example where we have using a p element. I'm adding I'm adding some properties like color and text align for the P element. So how we can do that? Likewise, we have to use a styles tag. In that style tag, we have to use the property which is a we have to use the HTML element which we are going to style is nothing but here P element. We are having two P elements in our body, and we are using that P element as selector. P curly braces are open, and I'm giving the property which is a color, which is the color of red color. I'm giving here red color. And next a text align. What the text align means, how the text will be aligned, like center or a center or left side or right side. We can use any text align there. Likewise, we can do text align center, and color is red color. I am given in style tag. This is the property which I have given to P elements. This is the properties. We can see the output here. This is a hello world which is under the P tag is taken the styles of this color. Red this color is visible, and next text align center. In that web page we are getting center, that content is visible in center. So this is the basic example where P is a selector in the CSS. It points the HTML elements which we want to style. P is the paragraph. And next, what is selector? Selectors are of different types. You can tell. Basically, we are using a element selector like P we have used in the previous example. Like CSS selectors means find or select the HTML elements which we want to style, what type of element you want to style, selecting that element by using these selectors, right? So those are called CSS selectors. CSS selectors may be of different type. First one is the CSS element selector. What is the element selector means? HTML elements are many, like a paragraph elements or headers, like or headers or footers. Many elements are there with the tags. So selecting that HTML element by using that elements, we call it as CSS element selector. Here we have a P element on the web page. So I am taking as a, here you can see in the body section we have a P element, paragraph element, and have another paragraph element and another paragraph element. Three paragraph elements are there. So I am using a P as a selector. So this kind of selector is nothing but a CSS element selector. Like we are selecting an element. P is the element, HTML element. We are selecting the P element, so that is known as CSS element selector. Here P is called CSS element selector. We are selecting the P element. I am giving the styles like properties, texture and center, and color, giving red color. So all the P elements will get the same style which we have given in the style tag. So you can see the output. Every is there. So next one is the CSS ID selector, CSS class selector. What is the difference between this ID selector and class selector? Let's see one by one. In the previous session, we have seen the P is used as a selector for styling purpose. Now what we are using means, here you can observe that we are using hashtag para1, PA or a para 1. This is the selector what we have selected to applying the styling is called central and center, and color is red color. We are applying to the hashtag para of 1. This is the selector. What is this hashtag para of 1 means? You can see, come to the body section and observe. Here B is the HTML element. For this HTML element, I am adding the ID part. ID is equal to para 1. So I am adding the ID for this particular HTML element. What is IDs and what are classes and everything, how to add in the HTML elements, what is we call it as attributes, ID attribute, class attribute. We can, if you didn't want know about exactly about what is this attributes and what is this ID, go through the HTML tutorials which we have making a videos of HTML tutorials from basic to the advanced level and included in a playlist. You can watch those videos and get clarity on what is meant by ID or attribute or everything. You can get clarity on that. So ID attribute, which is a para one for this P element, we are using that ID name, hashtag ID name. By using this class selector. And next we have a CSS universal selector. What we can say means, universal selector means all the elements, all the HTML elements which you are having on your web page, you can select at once by using this symbol which is called as a star. By using this star symbol, asterisk symbol, you can add properties, CSS properties to all the elements which are included in your web page. This will affect the each and every HTML element on your web page. Likewise, you can see the example here. We are in the body section. We have a H1 tag, P tag, and P tag, and P tag. We are having 4 tags. We are applying only one style, which is a center, and it's a blue color. We are using the selector as star. This is nothing but a universal selector. The CSS universal selector star we are using for styling the all the HTML elements present on the web page. Like, follow this syntax to apply the styles for all the HTML web pages. Here is the output. Here you can see all the HTML elements, which is a header, paragraphs, everything are is centerline and is blue color. This is called CSS universal selector. Now I think you get clarity on that. And next we have another one is a CSS grouping selector. What is grouping selector? Grouping selector is nothing but selects the HTML elements with the same style definitions. Like, if you want to apply particular style for the all the HTML elements, like we can use this thing by using the class, by giving the class name similar to the those elements. Likewise, we can also do, but we can also do that like the things like, if here you can observe that example. Look at the following CSS code. Here we have same the things like text align will be center and color is red color. Same things for all the H1 element, H2 element, P element. So why to write a number of times having the same style? So but not doing like this, we can have a grouping selector, which is nothing but we can give the stylings at once by using this grouping selector. Like, grouping all the selectors which you want to give the particular styling by using a comma separated. Like, it will be better to group the selectors to minimize the code. To group the selectors, what we have to use means separate each selector with the comma. Then that is nothing but a CSS grouping selector. By using this grouping selector, we can reduce the code, and we can apply the same stylings for all the elements at a once by using a few lines of code. Like, things will go on. Here you can see a basic example which we have. And next we are going to see about CSS comments. What are CSS comments and how how we are to use that in our HTML codes? Like you can see here, HTML basically comments. Comments in any programming language are not going to see or visible in your output, or we can say. But this kind of web pages, creating web pages means we can't see the comments in your web page. Like, it is not visible in your web page. This is unvisible content which are used in the codes to understanding betterly. If another person wants to see your code, then he will get to understand what your code exactly tells about by using these comments. Basically, comments are used to explain the code and may help you to edit the source code at later time. Comments are ignored by the browsers. That is, you are going to run any web page, then that these comments are not visible, going to display on your web page. CSS comments are placed inside the style element. Basically, we are applying the styles in the style tag, right? So like this, the comments of this CSS also should be included in this style element. Then only you can tell it as CSS comments. But what is the syntax for this CSS comments means? In the style tag, we have to use this syntax, like, starts with the backslash and star and ends with the star and backslash. Like, you have to follow this particular syntax to write a comments of CSS in the style element. But CSS comments you can, but we are using HTML comments in your web pages. Now why we go for CSS comments? What is the difference between these things? We can see here. From the HTML tutorials, we have learned how to add comments in our HTML things or everything by using this syntax, which is a bracket open and exclamatory. In that, we have to write the content, and then we have to close that angled bracket. Likewise, this is the basic syntax of HTML, which we can observe in the HTML pages. So this is the HTML page, which is the visible part is under the body section. The visible part of the HTML page is the only body section, which are the available in the other parts or not visible in your web page. So that CSS all the comments or CSS properties or everything is not visible, which is under header tag or any external CSS file, like the things will go on. Like in the style tag, we are applying the CSS comments. So this is the difference between HTML comments and CSS comments, you can observe here. Next, we are going to see about CSS colors. What are the CSS colors available? The things means CSS has many colors with the color names like tomato color and orange color and violet color, gray color and dogger blue. Many colors are light gray, like the things like more than 140 standard colors names are supported by the CSS and HTMLs. So how to include those colors we can see in now. So by using this colors, we can give the colors for the text and for background also we can give the color, and for border we can also give the color. Like the things we can give colors to your web elements to look more attractive your web page will be. So this is the basic thing. How we are going to apply the color for the text means you have to follow the particular syntax, which is we are styling right, but this is the inline CSS we are using here. H1 of style is equal to color colon tomato. This is called inline styling. Like we are not we can also do with these things in a external CSS, like a h1 colon we can do by using the CSS selector element, or else we can also do inline styling. Inline styling is nothing but at that element only we can apply the stylings by using this syntax, that is that element name, in that we are using the style attribute, which defines the particular style which we are going to add by this style attribute. Attribute style is equal to, first we have to include property colon value. By using like this syntax we can apply this. You can got to know this inline styling by using, if you go through those videos how to add CSS in your HTML web page, we have making a video. That video may be available for you at the end of this session. This video colors. Not only by using the color names, we can also use color values for giving colors for the particular HTML elements. Like here also we are using inline CSS by using style attribute, and we are giving background color background color by using color values. To want to know what are the color values or everything, you can go through videos of HTML where we have given what are the hexagonal colors and RGB colors. We have given a video. Go through that video, then you will get clarity on those color values and color names and everything. Next, we are going to see is about this CSS background. What is CSS background means? For any web page, we have a background like a background color maybe, or some gives background images and some gives background GIFs or anything, or some background will be there for any web page, right? So how to give those backgrounds by using CSS is nothing but CSS backgrounds. We can add effects for the backgrounds like repetitions or attachment or fixed or scrolling. Likewise, we can add the properties also for the background. So let's see one by one. Background color means what, background image, how do we can add, like these things we can see one by one. So first thing is background color. How to add a background color for your web page by using CSS is nothing but CSS background color property. By using CSS background color property, we can add background color for an element. Like here is the example you can observe. The background color of a web page is set like light blue. You can observe here by using this background color property. I am giving the value as light blue. Here you can observe the program also. Here we are adding a h1 hello element and a p element, which is a paragraph element in the body section, which is visible in your web page. For those elements, I am adding a background by using this body tag. Means we are using the body tag is nothing but all the elements which are present in the body tag gets this property, like body, entire body which is visible in your web page gets this background color as light blue color. So this is the output respectively. So this is nothing but CSS background color. Next we have a CSS background image, which is nothing but a which is done by using this background image property. This specifies an image to use as a background. Like we can use an image image path maybe in the same program, or we can use the entire path for adding the image. Like how to add the image in your CSS, how to maybe a relative path or absolute path. We have make a video on the HTML tutorials. You can go through those video tutorials, like have an CSS background repeater. As we said, by default the background image property repeats as an image both horizontally and vertically. Some images should be repeated only horizontally or vertically. They may look strange like this. If the above image is repeated only horizontally, like repeat X is nothing but for repeating horizontally. Repeat Y is nothing but for repeating vertically. Like the things will go on for the background. Like you can see in the first example where we have a background, just we are given image, just a blue color image. Up to here is the one image which we had given, but the web page length is very high than that particular image, so it will repeat likewise, and you will get two images in your web page, like 1 and 2. And next what we are doing means, by using this CSS background repeat no repeat property, like we are not going to repeat that element, just we have to place that element only without any repetition. We have to get the background only once with that particular image or anything, then we have to go for this CSS background repeat property, which is a CSS background repeat X, means repeating only horizontally, not vertically. Repeating, if you want to get no repeat, then you can write no repeat, or if you want to repeat in a horizontally, you can write repeat X. If you want to repeat in a vertical way, you can write as repeat Y, like the things will go on. This is nothing but like the things, we will get clarity on that. Yeah, here is the example. This is one is a fixed one where we have a tree. Position means previously we have discussed about position is nothing but a fixed position, or like the things like left or right we can fix the position. Next we have a background attachment, like this what I have explained in fixed and scrollable is nothing but CSS background attachment. Previously I have explained these things. Like you can see, I am scrolling this particular part from here. I am getting the entire tree image here. You can observe here. I am giving CSS attachment as fixed. Even I am scrolling this bar, I am getting the entire image of a particular tree. You can observe here. This is nothing but a fixed value for the background attachment. CSS background attachment, by using this background attachment property, specifies the background image should be scrollable or fixed one, as we explained in previously. Like here I am giving scrollable. Then what we do is means, if you are scrolling the particular image which is not getting for the entire web page, it is fixed. Like if you are scrolling, that image won't come. You can see half tree is visible here at that scrolling part. Here compare with this, if you are scrolling, the entire tree will be present here. So that is the difference between next I will have a shorthand property. Here we have a CSS background shortcut property, where we can apply all this background color and image and repeat and position and everything by using this CSS background property. Not writing every time all the things, we can write all these things one by one, but following this order. We have to follow this order: background color, next image, next repeat, next attachment, next we have to specify the position. It doesn't matter if any property of missing, as long as the other ones are in the order, then it will be okay. Note that you don't use any background attachment properties in the examples above. It doesn't have any value. Like here is the example where we have a background color, a hash fff, and image background image we have specified, and next repeat or no repeat property we have explained no repeat, and next position we have given right top. But yeah, we are missing with the background attachment, like it is fixed or scrollable, we are missing. But we are written everything line by line, it's okay. Now other than this, basically is the this is the normal basic way which we have go through. Like in that body tag we are specifying background color, background image, and repeat, and every time we have to write all these things by using to a so yeah, so these are the basic things about related to CSS, which is a cascading style sheets. If you want to go the more concepts about CSS, you can go through W3 Schools, which is a website where everything is clear in a clear-cut fashion. You can go through those website and understand what is more advanced topics in CSS. But basic level of web development, I thought CSS basic things is what we have explained is enough, because CSS is a basic styling thing we can use in your web pages. Nowadays, most of the using Bootstrap and many other different styling technologies in their web pages for effective and creating better web pages, like Kindo and many Telerik, and many more things are get developed in the website, in the web developing market. So many not CSS is using for better websites. CSS is a basic thing which beginners can go through for creating basic level of HTML pages. We use CSS. But customer related CSS files we can use in advanced applications. So to get CSS, to know about the CSS basic things is very much important, because this is the standard where we start with the stylings. So that's all what we have explained all about basic CSS. And for HTML tutorials, we have making a HTML playlist where we can observe